Welcome to this video on low carbon solutions for the Middle East. On this channel, Synergy Files, we aim to inspire budding engineers for a better, more sustainable world, so please do subscribe to our channel to stay updated. This video is crucial as in the war against global warming, the Middle East has an important role to play. So let's have a look at the current scenario in the Middle East first, which will be followed up by the solutions to the problems. The Middle East has enjoyed riches from the oil for nearly a century. Unfortunately, within the span of 2 generations, the nomadic zero-carbon lifestyle in the region has morphed into a pattern of living that is akin to an energy black hole. Today, the emergence of tall skyscrapers, golf courses, thermal power plants, desalinated seawater, gas-guzzling vehicles, 24/7 air conditioning, and grand indoor spaces are all contributing towards a huge energy drain. The energy policy in the Middle East is a complete departure from the natures designed for the region, and because the price of this extravagance is paid by tapping into nature's energy capital, that is oil and gas, existing reserves are depleting rapidly. In September 2012, a report by Citigroup warned Saudi Arabia that owing to an increase in domestic consumption of oil, the country could run out of oil to export as early as 2030. To put this into perspective, the energy consumption by the 9 million people in the relatively small country of the UAE or the United Arab Emirates consume the same amount of energy as 200 million people in Pakistan. From Google's public data, it can be seen that Qatar leads the way in CO2 emissions per capita with a value of 44 kilograms of CO2 per person per year. The next in line is Kuwait with 28 kilograms, followed by the UAE and Saudi Arabia with values of 20 and 18 kilos of CO2 respectively. The values of the mentioned Middle Eastern countries are well above the world average of 4.8 kilograms of CO2 per person per year. A recent trend in the Middle East has been the construction of tall skyscrapers. The Burj Al Khalifa in Dubai stands proudly as the tallest building in the world, but unfortunately, its futuristic architecture takes little consideration of sustainability or energy efficiency. The glass facade may look exciting, but for extremely sunny climates, they only increase the heat load by allowing more of the sun inside the building. It should be mentioned that the Burj Al Khalifa employs a low solar factor glass with a shading coefficient of 0.18. However, with an overall glass area of over 120,000 meters square, it has been estimated that during peak times 4.2 megawatts of heat load is added because of sunlight alone. Also, the delivery of water, personnel, and goods to the higher floors of the skyscraper becomes an extremely high energy consuming activity. Having many skyscrapers also increases the population density of an area, which in turn increases the traffic and consequently raises the CO2 emissions. Smog is one of the many unintended consequences of skyscrapers. If you notice, in many pictures of Dubai, the city is covered by a dome of smog. Smog increases the energy consumption because of the microclimate it creates. Because of smog, not only the air quality is reduced by this culmination of pollutants, but a greenhouse effect is also created which increases the ambient temperature. As a result, more air conditioning is needed. Although it is heartening to see that a proposed skyscraper, the Burj Al Taqa in Dubai, aims to generate 100% of its energy through renewables both on the building and from a nearby site, but it has to be realized that skyscrapers themselves are part of the problem. The need therefore is of sustainable architecture that is in tune with both nature and the requirement of its dwellers. Fortunately, the answers can be found in the region's own history. It wasn't long ago that solar chimneys were a compulsory feature of buildings in the Arab world. These chimneys not only improved the natural ventilation but also provided passive cooling during blazing hot summers. The solar chimneys need to be brought back in the building design manuals of the region. One great example of sustainability in the modern Middle East is Masdar City. The oil-rich Emirate of Abu Dhabi, in contrast to Dubai, has opted for a more sustainable route to the future. The Masdar City project is a planned city constructed 17 kilometers southeast of Abu Dhabi. The buildings in the city of Masdar have taken inspiration from old arabesque terracotta buildings. Interestingly, the temperature in the streets of Masdar is 15 to 20 degrees cooler than the surrounding desert owing to well-designed cityscape. The narrow streets deliberately made in Masdar City remain well shaded for most part of the day. There's also a 45-meter tall tower that siphons cold air from the top and discharges it at the ground level. There is much that can be learned from this project not only by the Middle East but by all hot climate countries. The use of earth material during construction compared to aluminium and glass or iron also increases the specific heat capacity of the building. This gives the building higher thermal inertia, which in turn reduces the energy consumption. It should be noted that the buildings with higher thermal inertia, such as mud houses, get relatively less hot even when exposed to high amount of heat. By comparison, buildings with more metal in their structure get hotter quicker and therefore need more energy to get rid of the heat. Most of the Arab world is blessed with ample sunshine and also has vast uninhabited spaces. Dubai receives an average of 5.74 kilowatt hours per meter square per day of solar insolation, a level of sunshine that is envy of northern European countries. Just like Masdar City, much of the electricity can be provided by solar PV panels and concentrated solar power or CSP technology. Water can be recycled and grey water can be used for irrigation. With the exception of a few oasis cities and oasis towns, bulk of the population in the Middle East lives near the coast. Through seawater greenhouse technology, the region can not only achieve food sufficiency but also reduce its carbon footprint significantly. Note that more than 85% of the food in the Middle East is imported. Seawater greenhouse technology is very exciting in that it can not only grow crops in the most arid of regions near the sea but is able to do it with the minimum energy requirements. Sustainable transport can also play a huge role in the region. The Middle East is home to the largest fleet of luxury cars. Given the fact that fuel is cheap, it is not surprising that cars with big gas-guzzling engines are very common. Electric cars that are powered by solar electricity are a potential replacement. Electric car technology is rapidly maturing, but also requires a shift in the mindset to make a breakthrough in the region. Given the deep pockets of the Middle Eastern countries because of the oil wealth, the time to invest in green technologies is sooner rather than later. The architecture of Masdar City holds the key for the Arab world in the post-oil era. The future is not skyscraping energy sinkholes but smaller, sustainable housing and business units. The future is not fossil fuel-based electricity but an energy mix that is dominated by solar energy. The future is not more desalination plants but more waste water treatment plants. The most significant change will come through raising awareness. Sustainability is not just a series of steps and action items, but it is a lifestyle choice. Any conscious soul would testify that many a times the ostentatious displays of wealth only equate to environmental poverty. And with this, the video on low energy future for the Middle East is concluded. If you learned from the video, please do like it and share it to bring a green revolution, and do subscribe to the channel for more such videos. Thank you for your attention.